Hello, welcome to A Visit with Nana and Papa. I'm Nana.
I'm Papa.
And we need to apologize for our absenteeism. Um, Part of it has been health, part of it has been doing other things, but we're here. I would like to say that we'll be more consistent, but I'm not going to commit to something that I don't know. Because if I am coughing so hard that I can't breathe well, I'm not going to try and talk through that.
Yeah.
But it is Saturday, the Saturday before Thanksgiving weekend. That's all I know. Whatever day that is.
It is 11/18.
Okay, so next Saturday will be 2 days after Thanksgiving. I actually am off for Thanksgiving, which is nice. And
You're off for Black Friday, which is
that's
novel.
very weird and but
That's
nice.
like the first time in forever.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I have a lot to go over on my end, so I guess we just get into it.
Sure.
So, first thing, finished object.
First
Oh.
thing, show my sweater.
No, we're gonna show your sweater in whips. It's a whip. You have to wait. You have to
You
wait
get
for
what?
me to work on it. You're gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
But it is a success. So I did finally finish the ranunculus. It fits really well. I'd be wearing it, but it is way too warm to wear it. If you don't know the ranunculus pattern, just go to Ravelry. There's so many people have knit it, it's crazy. But Black Sheep Knitter is doing a knit along for the ranunculus, and I cast mine on. So this is the yarn that I use. It is a DK boucle that I dyed myself, and I held with it silk mohair, and this is from Leading Men Fiber Arts. It is called Kind of a Big Deal. To me, is the best color of yarn ever.
No.
No, Thrive is number one.
There you go.
Kind of a Big Deal is number two. But together, I thought they turned out, they almost look like lettuce to me. But I love it. I love how it looks. It's very bright and happy. And it's a finished object. And all the ends are even woven in. And it is not blocked. I have not washed it. But I don't usually block my sweaters until I've worn them for a while.
Yeah.
I wash them when I need to.
Speaking of lettuce, do you know what a honeymoon sandwich is?
What?
It's 2 pieces of bread with a piece of lettuce. It's called lettuce alone.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So that is my finished object. There's some whips I'm not going to go into today. One of those is the 3rd or 4th Vibes tee. It's one for my granddaughter. I am still working on it, but I will admit, doesn't get lots of love. I pick it up when I'm at work and I am on a meeting and I just need to be able to focus. Yes, knitting helps me focus. When people are talking and I'm knitting, I'm hearing what they're saying and I'm not going off and thinking about a million different things at the same time. But I'm not going to show it because there's not enough to really go into. I'm going to show this but I want to preface that this is not going to get done this year.
It's gone in timeout.
It's going to stay in timeout for a very long time. But this is the West Knits MCal, and I still love it. I think it's going to be super pretty. I love how the end turned out. The problem is that this end is significantly short because I didn't come all the way to the corner, and it looks like I may have decreased a couple times, so I have to, for the 3rd or 4th time, rip out clue 3 on this side and try again. So, yeah, so there's that.
So, and going in the
So it's gonna go into timeout, and
timeout corner.
I will pull it back out when I'm a lot less angry at it. But there's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's entirely me not focusing when I'm supposed to be focused. But while I was working on that, when I was getting frustrated, one of my coworkers is a designer for Yarnspirations, and she released a pattern on our website, and I just thought it super cute. So I cast it on. I just know it's a brioche cabled hat. I think it's actually called the Patton's Brioche Cable Hat. I am not using Patton's yarn. I'm not going to go buy yarn. But I am using Dovestone Chunky. And this was a gift from Stuart at the Wool Patch in the UK. And it's really nice bulky yarn. And then I'm using it with this yarn, which came out of the center of a Caron Colorama Halo Perfect Phasing, which is from where I work. But I think it looks really nice. The colors go really well together. It allows the cable look to stand out. So I'm excited. I still have a long way to go, but it's coming together nicely. I work on it when my hands need a different size needle.
Frequently. I don't know if she works on it frequently, but she frequently needs a different size needle.
Now
we're getting to the good stuff.
Oh, wait. One more
Okay,
before.
no, we're not.
One more before we talk about the success. This isn't a problem. It's just, I just want to show. I have been working on this. I have added. I was like down here the last time I showed y'all. So this shawl is getting a lot of love. That's not even the right side. Guess I should show y'all the right side. So. And I will be adding to it, but it's taken a back seat. I still pick it up from time to time, because it's something I can work on while we're watching shows, but I'm trying really hard to work on Isabel's more than this, because Isabel's need to get done. But, now, and that shawl, if you haven't seen before, it uses La Bien-Aimée yarn. I don't know what the yarn is, but it'll be in the notes below, because I don't have the wrappers in the bag at the moment. Okay, so the best of the best. Let's start. I'm going to go back, way back. For years, I would ask him, what would you like for me to make you? And the answer was, I don't want you to make me anything. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. And then 4 years ago, and yes, I know it was 4 years ago, he actually said, well, if you were to make me a cabled cardigan, I would love it. And so
I'm wearing the green sweater that she did make me, so.
Yeah, so he wanted it to be green, and a really dark green, that dark green. And so we bought the yarn. Well, technically we bought a first yarn, and the first yarn was super splitty, and so we didn't use that. Then we bought a second yarn, and the second yarn was I cast it on, and I worked hours trying to work on this cable cardigan, and the stitches just kept falling down, and I would have to pick them up. And I realized that I was using a yarn that was 70% merino and 30% silk, and that slippery was not good for cables. So I ripped that out. And also another thing that made it really hard was knitting in that really dark yarn. It was really hard for me to see my stitches. So 2 years ago,
Yeah.
A friend of ours came to Austin, and she and Jim went into the yarn shop together to search for the yarn he wanted. And he found yarn that he liked the feel of and that he liked the color of. And so
Well, it's very important.
And so the two things that he wanted is he likes the feel and he liked the color. And so they showed me what it was. And it was really nice, but it was Madeline Tosh, and it was 30 something a skein.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Not for my fat ass.
And for his size, I was going to need 11 or 12 skeins. And that just wasn't doable. So
not possible.
I found on sale the very similar makeup of yarn in the same color on Knit Picks. And then I started making the same sweater, and it just didn't work well. So then I tried a different sweater pattern that everybody loves, which is the one by Jared Flood, Timberline. But the cuffs just kept being super huge, and
Yeah, I don't like that.
it just was not good. So
See this cuff? That's perfect.
a couple months ago, I don't even know, Joji Locatelli came out with her granny cardigan.
Yeah.
And so I cast it on, but I cast it on and then ended up following the wrong instructions because it had the same instructions for the front as for the back for the for a few rows, and then I got all, so I messed up really bad and had to rip it out. And then I started again, and then I had a little bit less than what I have right now, but the cables just were not nice looking. I didn't like them, and I had already modified the sweater because he wants a Celtic knot, and that cardigan doesn't have one. So, you hold that side. I recast them and hold it tight so they can. So I recast on, and this is the only cable pattern that's from the original pattern, but it is the exact same numbers and the same measurements. I've just substituted. This is a different cable pattern, and then the Stinter back is gonna have this Celtic knot cable.
Yeah, I got it cool.
And
I got a nice
if
sweater.
it's better to see that way, I don't know.
Yep.
And so it's looking, and it's going really nice. And the best part of all is because of adjusting, this pattern repeat or does a cable cross every 4 rows, and this pattern does every 8 rows. And so that means that there's one row where excuse me, where I do a cable cross on all the rows, right? So there's a cable cross on everything. And then there's a row where I only do this one and this one. And then the other rows, I'm only doing this one. And then, additionally, on the back for these cables, the back sides, you knit the knits and purl the pearls, and that's all you do. And so I went from really struggling and having to read the pattern for every single cable chart to I only have to pay attention to this chart here. Because as long as I know what the number of the row is, I know what to do on these. I already have this section memorized. And this is the only part that I have to look at the chart. And so it just made it really not simple, because it's still cables, but much easier and much faster. And so am I going to have it done by January? Probably not.
Nope.
But is it going to be years? No. This is going to be just a couple months, and I should have it done. So I'm very, very happy that I have finally got the start of a sweater that you'll actually enjoy and like and wear.
I wear my sweaters.
No, but I mean, if I had messed up, what was happening before was not the cuff that was super huge. You wouldn't have wore that. The one where the cables were sloppy,
the way
you wouldn't have wore it.
It was like I don't like my sweaters.
No,
I do like my sweaters.
That's not what I was saying. I'm saying that my previous attempts, all resulted in fabric that you would not have been willing to wear.
I love you.
So finally, I have something that's not so bad. Point out, these stitch markers here are from my friend Lynn, and these little stitch markers here are Cocoa Knits that I got when I was at Pick Up Every Stitch on what they called the Road to Rhinebeck day that they were open on Thursday before Rhinebeck. So the yarn I'm using is Knit Picks Swish, and I don't remember the colorway, but I have a ball here, so it is Swish DK Marble Heather. So, and that's it for finished objects and whips. I have some stuff to go over on what's come in the mail. But you want to talk about what we've been watching or reading or something first?
Been a lot of reading going on because there hasn't been anything else going on. No movies going to the movies. It's hard to go, and health just hasn't been up to spending all that time on a bus and then walking a mile from the bus stop to the theater. So that hasn't happened. And last Saturday was Veterans Day. Happy late Veterans Day to all of the veterans I watch. Appreciate your service. First time I haven't done anything for Veterans Day at all, and I just didn't have it in me. Did not feel good enough to leave the house. But it was a bummer. Books, I've been reading a lot. Jonathan Moeller is one of my favorite authors. He's not one of my favorite editors, but he's a good author. He's a better editor than D.K. Holmberg. But doesn't take a lot to, if you set the bar that low, there's a lot of people that are better editors than D.K. Anyway, he's got a new series out. It's not really new. I've known about it for a while, and I haven't been reading it because I wasn't sure if I even wanted to. He's got a character named Ridmark Erebon, and he's got a whole lot of books about Ridmark. Well, this new bunch of books, Ridmark's in them, but they're not about Ridmark. They're about his oldest son, Gareth. And it got off to a little bit of a rocky start. but I have since started enjoying them more since we have gotten beyond Gareth's infatuation with the person that was not nice. But they are the Dragon Skull series. You can read these without reading all the other books about Ridmark, because while they provide history to this set of books, this set of books isn't about Ridmark, so they're about his son. And they'll mention shit from things in his dad's life. But it's called the Dragon Skull series. Book 1 is Sword of the Squire. Book 2 is Shield of the Knight. Book 3 is Blade of the Elves. And I'm currently reading book 4. I don't recall how many there are, but they're a fun read. I would recommend them. I also read another Jonathan Moeller. He's got a whole bunch of Cana books. They're the Ghost series, and he'll finish up one Ghost series and move Cana into another adventure where that's got a wide story arc, but each one of the books is a part of the story arc, and he'll finish that story arc. And Cana has saved her world many, many times, but not because she's a superhero or she's out to save the world. It's just stuff happens to her, and she has to rise up or die, and she chooses to rise up, and she saves the world. The latest is Ghost and the Serpent, and it is the first book in a new arc. So I'm looking forward to seeing more in this arc. K.F. Breen. I cannot wholeheartedly endorse K.F. Breen because K.F. Breen likes to write graphic sexual details into some of her novels. Some of her novels are none.
So if that
Some of
doesn't
them are
bother
too
you,
much.
or you're into that,
So if you like that, then K.F. Breen is great. If you don't like that,
okay.
you may have a hard time with their books because, unlike Shannon Mayer, who will tell you, this is the juicy part. If you don't like juicy parts, move to the next chapter. K.F. Breen doesn't do that, and Shannon doesn't put anything important in the sex parts. So if you want to skip the sex parts, you don't miss part of the storyline. Unfortunately, K.F. Breen sometimes leaves important details mixed in with the sex, and if you skip that, they will reference something. You're like, well, when the hell did she say that? Well, you got to go back to the sex part, and somewhere in there, the sex part, there's a sentence that you missed because you went skip. Oh, there we go, not sex. But I did read some D.K. Holmberg. He's got a series out about magic. Of course, it's D.K. Holmberg, but there's the weight of magic. I think it's the essence of magic. This third one is the chains of magic, and it's interesting. The editing is crap, but this is D.K. Holmberg, so the editing is always going to be crap. The story is not, and the story has taken a new turn at the end of this book, so book 4 will start off completely away from everything in book 1 through 3. Should be interesting.
Wait, I have a question.
What?
I thought that...
K.F. Breen, I forgot to tell you, it's Magical Midlife Battle, and it's book 8 in the Leveling Up series, and she's been building up to this for 7 books, and they finally get around to actually having their supernatural battle, and of course our side wins because that's pretty important, because nobody's going to buy a book if our side got their ass handed to them, so our side wins.
But I have a question.
You have a question?
Yeah, what happened to the next in the Giants?
It's not available for another 11 weeks. The third book in Kevin Hearn's series, A Curse of Krakens, was released on November 3rd. But while I am on the wait list at the library, it is a very long wait list. And
Fair enough.
I am number 111 on the wait list.
It's a good book. There's a good reason. So it's all good.
So it says it's going to be a while.
I just making sure it came out and I wasn't missing stuff.
Speaking of Shannon Mayer, she had a new book out, Magical Midlife Soul Hunter, and it was number 8 in the 80 Proof series. And she doesn't have as much sex, so if you want less sex and the same midlife, all these magical midlife things, apparently it's a very big genre right now because it's probably being popularized by middle-aged women who want a new thing in their world. And all of these are about women who their husband divorces them after 20 or more years of marriage and runs off with a younger woman, and part of their new adventure in life is something happens that they discover magic, and they become magical where they had not been magical for the first 40 years of their life, and now they are. And very popular genre right now. I like them, and I'm not a middle-aged woman, so there's that. Doesn't have to have sex in it for me to like it. Prefer to not have sex in it for me to like it, but I can just skip over the sex parts. I know how to read. I know how to skim. TV-wise, we've watched a lot of TV. We finished watching Madam Secretary, and we are bummed that there is no more Madam Secretary. The last season of Madam Secretary was actually Madam President, and the Secretary of State ran for president, and Squeaker barely won. But that was the end of the series. It's been too long since it quit for them to pick it back up, so that's the end of it. But it was really good. We liked it. The new Quantum Leap had a new episode, and it's got
several since we last.
Well, I don't know, maybe, but they had something that never happened before: a recurring person in his time leap, and he time leapt into Roswell. And he met this woman in a diner. She was a waitress, but she was also a scientist. But at the time, in 1950, women weren't taken seriously as scientists. And he told her to go to Berkeley or some university in California because they would take her seriously. And that was a few episodes ago. In this last episode, his next time leap, he is back into her life. But he's leaped into a new person. And she recognizes him when she's not supposed to be able to. And it was really a good episode. I'm thinking she's probably going to come back for at least one more. Just a hunch. Speaking of women in chemistry, lessons in chemistry. If you don't like Brie Larson, then you won't like this. If you do like Brie Larson, then you will like this. This is much better than Brie Larson in Captain America, Captain Marvel. But she is a chemistry scientist in the same era when women weren't allowed to be scientists. And she winds up getting a job as a host for a cooking show, still doing science. So we have watched half of it, and then Valerie said, let's wait until it finishes, and then we can just binge watch the rest of them, because we had binge watched until we ran out. And we're like, what the hell is this? Oh, you still have 4 episodes to go, but you got to wait for them to be released. So in a couple of weeks, we'll finish. But right now, we're not. We have watched The Voice. I don't remember what the young lady's name is, but one of my favorite Cher songs is "Do You Believe in Life After Love?" And this young woman is a country western singer and a yodeler.
No,
That's not the same one?
I don't think.
I think so. Because she did Blue also.
No,
Is
it's
that
a different person.
girl? That's a different
Totally
girl?
different person.
Okay, well, this girl who does, check out The Voice and look for Life After Love, and the woman does it with just her and a guitar, an acoustic guitar, slowed down, and she put so much feeling and emotion into that song, she made the judges cry. It was awesome. All three of the performers in that particular battle, knockout, whatever, were just amazing, and it was a shame that somebody had to go home. None of the three of them should have gone home. I started watching something that she's not watching. She's seen bits and pieces of it, and sometimes she'll chuckle, but most of the time she just shakes her head. And it's an old show from Sci-Fi Channel that is now on Paramount.
I don't know.
I don't know. No, it's the
I don't know.
Peacock.
I don't know.
It's on Peacock, but it's called Resident Alien, and Alien is on a mission to Earth, and just as he's about to complete his mission, his spacecraft gets hit by lightning and crashes, and he loses what he was coming to do. Turns out what he was coming to do is to drop a device on Earth that will kill all the humans and leave the animals and the plants, because the rest of the universe has decided that we just don't fit in, and they want to kill us before we get out of our own solar system and mess up the rest of the universe like we mess up Earth. But his craft gets hit by lightning, so he loses his bomb before he gets the opportunity to blow up Earth. So this is him trying to impersonate a human being, and 0.01% of the population has the ability to see through his.
No. Just.
Well, yeah, because it's
Because
important.
it's not important.
Yes,
That's
it is.
something you find out when you're watching it. That's more interesting to see it than to have
Okay,
it described.
Fine.
Just tell them
Check
you're
it out.
enjoying
It's weird, but it's fun. It has some tough issues. It has some tough issues that it tackles, so that's cool. And let's see what else. Oh, Irrational. We got to see another episode of Irrational, and I can't tell you. Check out Irrational. It's a good show. It's a lot of fun, and it is going in a new direction. Not the music group. No.
That's One Direction.
One Direction?
Yes.
Okay. It's not going in a One Direction, new direction. It's going in a... the main character has started dating. And this last episode, they did a 24-hour date minus the sleepover. And it was pretty interesting. So I liked it. That's all I got. You said you had some got in the mail stuff?
Yeah, I got some packages in. See, while you're doing that, I managed to do almost a full row.
Yay, babies.
Okay, so first of all, I think it was a whip. Anyway, I won in one of Gary, from Gary Knits, Gary Rods. If y'all don't follow him, please do. He's amazing. But I won a sock blanket from Lola Bean Yarn Co. And it's not going to be right away, but what I'm going to try to do, if I can, is to just not do anything with it, but cut it and put it in a sweater. So this is the center panel, and then the other half is the center panel on the back.
Mm.
But I don't know. I may just reuse it and knit with it and then make socks, and that'll be cool. But I don't know yet. But it was very nice. Very, very nice of Gary. And then I don't have the markers, but I got a keychain and 2 stitch markers that are in green, and a skein of yarn from Hearts on Fiber. I think it was a D-stash that was done from Busy Peach. So they were able to support Busy Peach, but this is from my friend Lynn, who sent it to me just because, and because it was green, which is very nice of her. And then, when I went to Woolen Folk, the only people that I wanted to meet that I didn't get to meet, and the only shopping basically that I wanted to even see, was Dragon Horde Yarn. I love her stuff. I have a sweater I've made out of her yarn. Just her color sense makes me happy. Well, after Woolen Folk, her and her sister and her mom posted that it was a devastating loss for them, that they ended up spending more than they made, and the way that it was handled was just, and they didn't know how they were going to recover, and so they had all put their yarn on discount to try to sell some that they had thought they would sell at the event. And so I ordered 1 skein from Dragon Horde Yarn, and it came in.
Beautiful
this is
color.
the color Vampire. This just real pretty to me. I love this color. I'm not a, I don't know what the word is. Red's not my favorite color, but I do like certain shades of red a lot, and this is one of them.
Yeah.
Next Saturday, actually not Saturday, next Thursday is Thanksgiving here in the U.S. And I'm not working. And so I decided that at 1 o'clock, I'm going to go on Zoom. Jim can join if he wants to, but I'm going to go on Zoom because I know that there are other crafters out there, other people who are going to be home alone. And so, obviously, if you have plans and family and stuff, enjoy your holiday. But if it's a day that's hard for you, I think Jim and I are going to make an effort to be there throughout the holiday season, even during Christmas and New Year's. We'll try to be on Zoom at least for a couple hours each day so that people don't have to be alone in a time that's real rough for some folks.
If you want to have a couple of Nana and Papa, come see us. Son, we'll see you. I love you, Mama. Bye.
Remember, be kind.
Be kind. Hazel.